Hey guys, this is Miss Carpenter again. Just here for a quick review of line of best fit this time. We just finished our review of scatter plot, so this time we're going to do line of best fit. You guys have already learned about this. You've already learned what it was, but since it's been a while since we've talked about it, thought it'd be nice to just get on here and kind of do a quick review from me, okay? So if you recall, line of best fit is just a line drawn on a scatter plot and you want it to be close to your data points or the points on the graph. Okay, and all it does is a line of best fit, you want it to represent the data. Okay, that's all it does. It gives you a line that's not perfectly representative, but it pretty much tells you what's happening with the data so that you can kind of have something a little more organized than just dots everywhere. All right, so here in this first example, right here in this first box, I'm not going to take a very long time to do it because what it's wanting you to do is I'll just read it. So it says the graph below shows the relationship between minutes spent studying and the test scores for a math class. Which line best represents the data? Graph each line to justify your answer. So what it wants you to do is basically take all these lines and it wants you to graph each of them and tell which one would represent a line of best fit better. So it wants you to ask yourself which one goes through all the data points or represents all the data points the best. But as you know from us in class, it takes a while to graph points because you have to do rise over run and your y-intercept, and these videos have a time length, of course, or a time restraint, so I don't want to take all day doing that, but I am just going to draw general lines to represent those points so you can see what it's wanting you to do. So I'll do that really quickly. So first we're going to start with line A, and so line A, its y-intercept is at 50, so I can go ahead and graph that just to show myself where I'm going to start, and its rise over run, or its slope, remember, is 2/3, so that means you would go up 2 over 3 to represent it. All right, and I'm just going to kind of draw a line. Again, it's not perfect, but that's pretty much what it would look like if I did that, okay? So this is line A. All right, now let's move to line B. So again, my y-intercept is at 50 again, but this time it's up 3 and over 2, so it's going to be a little steeper of a line. So I'm just going to kind of draw one that would generally represent that. Again, it's not perfect, but you know. All right, so then we've got line C, and its y-intercept is actually at 55, so it's going to be right here. And its slope is also up 2 over 3, so here is that line. That's line C. And then finally, line D starts at 55 as well, but its slope is up 3 over 2, so it's going all the way up here. Now, let's look at those lines. Which one out of those do you think went through our data the best? Do you think quietly to yourself and ask yourself which one looks like it would represent our data the best? Now, if this were us doing a study guide or something like that, I always tell you to get rid of the ones that do not look like they're representing your data the best. So I thought that line B and D were way off because they were way up here, and I don't want that. I want something that's going to represent my points well. So now it's between C and A. Now, when I first drew A, I thought, wow, maybe it could represent our data pretty well. But if you notice, it's kind of down here at the bottom of your points. Notice that it's really only representing the bottom of your points, while C, it goes through the middle of your points pretty well, I would say. So if it were me, I would pick answer choice C as my best option, okay? So that's just kind of what a line of best fit is, and so that's just what it is on a graph. So the next thing that they talk about is finding the line of best fit. So there they gave us ours, but if you ever have to find it yourself, the first thing you want to do is you want to draw your own line that is close to your data points, okay? So you want to draw a line that pretty much represents all of your data points, and the way you do that is just try and split the data or draw it through the middle, okay? Then you want to find the slope between any 2 points on your line, and you use the slope formula. You guys know what that is, but if you don't remember, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Pick those 2 good points. Step 3 is you identify the y-intercept, and you guys know that's where it crosses the y-axis. Step 4, you write your equation in slope-intercept form, which you know is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. All right? So, with that being said, you can draw a line of best fit yourself. But for now, since you guys are really great at drawing those slopes yourself, we are not going to focus on that as much because you've already practiced that a lot in class. But I am going to upload the directions of how to put your points in a calculator to find the approximate line of best fit where it's got the decimals, if you'll remember from class, because that gives you an even better estimate than you drawing your own line. So I'm going to upload that onto our Google Classroom, so just be looking for that, okay? And then we'll talk about a virtual calculator that you can practice that on later. All right? Love you guys.